In my opinion, risotto seems like one of those dishes where it's really difficult to make because you have to constantly stand there and stir it and make sure it doesn't burn. But in reality, it's actually really easy to make. Let me show you how to make it. To start this recipe off, I'm going to go ahead and prep my mushroom. I'm just going to slice the woody bit at the end off and then just slice these down into about 1/4 inch thickness. You can use any mushroom you want, but I just went with cremini or button mushrooms here. So once you have them sliced up like this, let's move on to the next preparation. My allium of choice for this recipe is going to be some shallots, 2 to be exact. You can use red onions, you can use yellow onions. I just prefer shallots for this recipe specifically because it's a lot more mellow than an onion, so it won't be too onion forward. Anyways, to prepare this, I'm going to go slice these in half and just peel off the outer layers. For these shallots, I'm looking for a fine dice, and I want a fine dice so that they can melt away into the risotto at the end. But if you want chunkier onions or shallots, then go for it. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic, 2 cloves again to be exact. And all I'm going to do is smash them and then peel the outer layer off. And then I'm going to go ahead and slice it down and then turn it 90 degrees and then finally mince it. For some nice fragrance and flavor, I'm going to go in with some thyme. If your thyme is woody, you can strip the leaves off like this, but if they're not that woody, you can just go ahead and slice them or mince them finely, like I'm doing here. To cook this dish, I'm going to go ahead and get a saute pan on medium-high heat with a drizzle of olive oil, and once that gets hot, I'm going to go in with my mushrooms. And to that, I'm going to add a pinch of salt to draw out the moisture so that I can properly brown this mushroom. I want to pull the moisture out at the beginning so that all this water from the mushroom will cook off, and then the mushroom can start browning right after that. Leave it to cook for about 5 to 10 minutes so that it can brown thoroughly because you want full contact with the pan to gain some color. And about halfway through, go ahead and just toss it up real quick so that the other side of the mushrooms can get browned as well. Now once your mushrooms start to look like this, it is a great time to add the shallots. And if your pan is looking a little dry, go ahead and add some more olive oil. Again, dump in your shallots and cook it down until they get nice and soft. It's okay if they get some color, but you want them ultimately just to be soft. Once the shallots are looking translucent, go ahead and put in your thyme. I also put in some garlic, but I forgot to film that, so let's just pretend there's garlic in this. Anyways, go ahead and cook this up until it's nice and fragrant, and then we're gonna go in with our rice. Alright, full disclosure, I accidentally poured in my wine before cooking the rice, so this is one of those cases where do as I say and not do as I do. Alright, cool. So now let's resume. So now it is time to go in with the rice. I am using some arborio rice because this is what is typically used, and I'm just going to go in with about a cup of that. Go ahead and cook that until it starts getting translucent around the edges. This is so you can jumpstart the cooking process. And once it is starting to look translucent, go ahead and put in your wine. Now use that to deglaze the bottom of your pan if there's any brown bits at the bottom. That is flavor. Make sure to scrape that all up. And then also cook down the wine until the alcohol has burned off. Once the alcohol has burned off, it is time to go in with the stock. I am pouring in a cup of stock to start, and I'm going to go ahead and cook that and continually stir until the rice has mostly absorbed it. And as soon as your rice starts to look a little dry, this is when you know to add another cup of your stock. So you're going to repeat the process of adding some stock, stirring and cooking until it's almost dry, adding some more, cooking it down, adding some more, cooking it down until you have gone through about 4 cups of stock, because that's how much I used for a runny risotto texture. With my last cup of stock in, I'm going to cook this until al dente. It should be a little runny like this because if it's too dry, then it's just steamed rice at that point. Once it is al dente, take it off the heat and then go ahead and grate in as much Parmesan as you would like. I used about half a cup's worth. You can use more, you can use less. You can even go in with pecorino if you'd like that, or if you have it on hand. And then to the risotto, go in with a couple of tablespoons of butter. And then all you're gonna do now is stir it until everything is dissolved, everything has melted into the risotto, the butter is fully emulsified. Now is the time to season your risotto. Taste it for seasoning and then add salt and pepper to your taste. So if it's not salty enough, go ahead and add more. But if the Parmesan is salty enough for you, then don't add any more salt. Stir the seasoning through, make sure it's evenly distributed. And once you're done, it should look something like this, and it is time for the taste test. Here we are at the taste test. Let's just give this a try, all right? Cheers. It's so good. Oh man, okay. It's delicious because the butter adds nice creaminess to it. The mushroom adds a lot of earthiness and depth of flavor to this. Also, the thyme, it's a little woody and it's a little almost citrusy. It's kind of just in the back there. It doesn't overpower the dish at all. And then the rice is perfectly cooked. It's al dente, meaning there's a bite to it. And then the whole dish, it's not heavy and it's not clumpy. It's nice and silky, you know, even though I've had this sitting out for a while now. And then the Parmesan just wraps everything up nicely with its nuttiness and its saltiness. So, if you like this recipe, hit that like button below. Let me know how this recipe goes in the comments below. And for more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, that one right there. And my previous video, that one. I'll catch you on my next one. Thank you. Bye.